Hi there, I'm going to be talking about a new kit on the block called Student Spaces from Adobe. It's a fun kind of AI study assistant, very in the same category, I would say, as Notebook LM, but we're going to try not to compare them too much to each other because this one has just arrived and Notebook LM has been there for quite a while, so it's got more to it, obviously, at the moment with you can decide on various designs and things like that, but and also it's got other things, but I think that this one has got room for on the market and it's very useful. It looks good. The interface is very Adobe-like, and we're going to be playing with it. So, same way as you would with some other AI study assistant, you're just going to add some documents to it to create your work area, the knowledge base, I would say. So I'm going to be setting two things on the solar system that I've been looking up, and we're going to add to student space. Right, it's going to take not too long to be putting them up. You can see that you can create an array of things which would be looking familiar to most of you: flashcards, quiz, study guide, podcast, study packs, mind maps, presentation, and video summary. So nothing new that you don't know about, but obviously it's got its own idiosyncrasies. We are going to be going through them one by one. It's fun. It works very well. It looks fresh. It's good. So that's it. We have our two resources here on the solar system. So some PDFs I found online. Do a video summary first. Okay, of all these resources. Um, and obviously you have a ask questions afterwards. So you could be able to quiz and ask questions about the documents. And because you're building the database, you're building the knowledge base, you can ask questions on that. It's going to give you references, as you know, on the content of your student space over here, which will be based on the solar system. So it's going to take a few minutes to build up that video summary, but we'll see.
What if you could travel across billions of miles in just a few minutes? In this video, you'll discover the wonders of our solar system, exploring everything from the blazing sun at its center to the distant, icy worlds at its edge. Let's embark on a journey through 5 fascinating topics: what the solar system is, the sun at its heart, the diversity of planets, the smaller bodies like moons and comets, and the mind-boggling scale of it all. To understand our place in the universe, we first need to define what the solar system is and what objects it contains. The objects it contains.
Okay, so you can see very nicely structured. The design is straightforward. It's good looking. It's efficient. It's fine, isn't it? It's not fancy, but at the moment anyway. But it does a very good job. And the content, I like the table of content, also the beginning of the video and stuff like that. So it's really good. I've made a few before, and I was quite content with the results. So it's good. Happy days. Let's move on. We've done a video summary. Uh, a few months ago, let's say, go back a few, let's say even 12, 14 months ago, or something like that, creative, you put a resource and you create a video. Now we are going to be very picky. Oh, the design is not so good. This is amazing. The stuff that you can actually do that. And the fact that the students can actually pop some resources and get a video straight away out of it. Obviously, you have to use it properly. It's not a question about thinking, and don't take anything for granted, especially if it's done by AI, for sure. But that is really proper amazing. So let's not be too picky. It is really good. Let's have a look at the podcast. We're going to be creating a podcast also there, and see what we can get. You notice also that I click on podcast, but I don't have the choice on what could it be. It could be a short one, it would be an in-depth one, stuff like that. So it's just one output at the moment, but I'm sure this is going to change very soon. Again, it's just been out. It's still pretty very functional, and it does very good stuff. So we'll see what happens in a couple of minutes. The podcasts are being surprisingly quick, actually. And in real time, it was about, let's say, 20 seconds. So that's surprisingly quick. Right. Again, like I mentioned before, I move my mug on that side. You don't really have the choice in terms of the length of the podcast, which is not a problem. But what I like is you have all the transcripts underneath that you can remove if you wanted to. And again, it's kind of a dialogue happening between two people. So we're going to listen to it.
Welcome to this episode, where we're diving into the wonders of our solar system, the sun, and everything that travels around it. It's a vast, fascinating neighborhood, and today we're going to break it down in a way that's easy to picture and understand.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about it. The solar system is basically our sun at the center, with planets, moons, asteroids, comets, and even dust and gas all held together by the sun's gravity. That invisible force keeps everything moving in orbit, even though the distances are huge.
Okay, so again, nice. Again, something which is pretty amazing that you can actually create a podcast with some resources. Good start. I'm sure later down the line you'll be able to be moving this down and creating some in-depth ones, some longer ones, some shorter ones. But here at the moment, it's just the one. What, in my perspective, being a language teacher by trade, things are only in English at the moment, which is fine. It's where I should be starting, and it will be coming soon. I'm sure we'll have the usual big hitters, then the Spanish, the French, the Chinese, and all that will be appearing soon. But at the moment, it's only in English, but it's still good enough. Now, let's have a good look at presentation and see if we can create a presentation out of the resources that we've been creating. So when you actually do a presentation, you have that window appearing there. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. You can see that I can technically pull this. There we go. A little bit more. It's powered by Adobe Express. So if you're familiar with Adobe Express, you notice that you'll be able to use its functionality and change a few things. Describe the presentation you want to create, but you can give some specifics to the study guide or study area. You have certain things here. Create a detailed presentation of the planet and features. Okay. Develop an engaging presentation about solar system with fun. It depends what you really want to create. Let's create an educational presentation in this case. Is it for, what is that going to be for? Here it's for elementary students. You notice that it just ticked off here. Maybe we're going to be doing a fun exploration for kids, maybe there, or create a detailed presentation on the planet and their features. Let's keep it to students in this case to make it probably a bit more student-like. You have the possibilities to get a certain number of slides, and you can write the number of slides. I think 10 slides is actually fine by me. And click on this, and with a bit of luck, we're going to have different designs, as you can see here. So it's up to me to decide which one I really want, which one is more enticing. And again, you have the stuff on the side. You can see that the little windows appearing, a bit like when you go see in Adobe Express or on other designing apps. This is kind of a bit garish, isn't it? Okay, let's skip the simple one and I continue to outline. You can see also again that you have the outline for every slide. If you're happy with them, you keep it. As ever, because it's created by AI, the human is very important in the loop. So you decide what you want, not what it wants. Okay. Here, for the sake of the video, I said everything is fine, and we're going to be generating the presentation. And it should take also a few seconds. There we go. Our presentation is ready. Again, it just takes seconds, maybe a couple of minutes at times. But anyway, you have your design. You can see I've changed my area. I'm in a different area now for my presentation. And I'm in Adobe Express. And I can also, what I like is the fact that you can actually edit the content. Okay, the podcast that we created before is you still managed to do something there. There we go. So you can edit the text, you can change the colors if you're not happy with them. You can edit things. You can see that if I move my face on that side, you can change the colors. If I don't like that blue there and I want something to border, so that's a border. If I want to change the fill, I just can put some things like that. I can change it, change opacity and stuff. Can change all sorts of things in a presentation if I'm not happy with what I'm being given. And I think it's great. Okay, nice little bits and bobs. It's divided well. You have some pictures. Well, if I'm not happy with that picture of Venus, for example, here, I can go into my media. I can type in Venus, the planet, and try to find something else. There we go. I like that one. There we go. It's amazing. And I could pop it here. Maybe I probably need to see probably a bit more of it. This is the reason it was there over the star. There we go. So you can edit things. I think it's a nice, obviously being powered by Adobe Express, you have all these little things that you can actually do on your presentation. Nice and simple presentation again, with little pictures, but it does a very good job. I took the liberty to create some flashcards. Again, clicking the button, create flashcards for interactive study tools. Let's have a look. And again, basic stuff. What is a flashcard? So and so, this is a solar system. And you have your answer on that side. And again, you have the source, which obviously is exactly what we're looking for. No hallucinations there. Everything's taken from the source. What are the 3 criteria of a planet? And again, source 2, you have access to this there. Orbit the sun near a round shape, dominant in its orbit. Okay, nice and straightforward. And you can make it bigger, obviously, in this case. Basic flashcards, a very good study tool if you want to play around with those. I like the mind map. There's a little extra bits that I quite like into it. Nothing groundbreaking here again. You can create all of these tools to support learning, which I think is very, very important. Different people, different ways of learning. And obviously, because you upload your own resources, you can dialogue with your learning, your study assistant, and you can ensure that you get all the stuff that you want to get out of there. If you're asking questions, not unsure about something, it will be able to explain to you whatever you don't really understand and try to break it into various things. So there you go. Solar system is done very, very quickly. The mind map, I like that. So let's make it big. Nothing groundbreaking, but again, sun as a central star, but you have a little thing explained on top there, which I really like. So let's click on that. We're going to go back into the dialog box. Shall I call it that way? Maybe it's got a different way, but I'll call it dialog box. We're going to be chatting with a chatbot with AI, with large language model here. And there we go. So if you're not sure what is it, it's going to be explaining to you whatever is behind that. Lots and lots of information to take on, which is good. And let's go back into it. Solar phenomena. And again, it explains your flares, your sunspots, your prominences, and again, it can explain. And again, also here, which I think is good, also again, is the fact that you have your references. So you have your little reference number 4. So if it's just surely secure in terms of non-hallucination and stuff like that. So all good. Back to study tools. Study packet's an interesting one. Study guide is a study guide. It's good. Let's have a look at study packet. Slightly different, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. So I want to study the topic. What are you studying for? Maybe I'm studying for an exam or something. So end of term exam, and key concepts, and what is the goal date. So it will allow you to give you a different calendar where maybe your test is going to be on the 24th and so, and you want to make sure that you are ready for it. So you set up your timetable for revisions and generate, and it's going to be setting up the study packet, which I think is really, really good, very clever way to help the student developing their skills, learning. And again, as part of the learning, there's a lot of forgetting, which is provided to strengthen learning. You have to forget, and by doing all these retrieval, using all these flashcards and stuff like that, and the knowledge is going to get more secure. So let's wait and see what it's going to be looking like. There we go. And you have 14 days, learning goals, review the key concepts by April 24th, which is great. Explore key components and structure of the solar system, including the sun, planets, moons, and smaller bodies. So upload it. By the way, you could be uploading your notes also there if you've taken notes, or people have taken notes also of their lessons and stuff like that. You can pop them into it, and it doesn't need to be PDF, obviously. And look at that. You have 10 lessons, which is fantastic. Let's click on one. Okay, got learning goals, main ideas, what is the solar system, the components. Fabulous. And once I've spent quite a bit of time looking at this, I've got my flashcards and I've got my quiz, so I can test myself on the day to see if I've done a good job. And when I'm happy with the progression, I can click on next, and I've got my second class. So we have plenty of time to be revising things, and every time you have something different. So I really like that study packet, actually. I think it's very clever little thing to do, and try to space out the learning. In this case, I think it would be very, very useful. So nice one. Well done, Adobe. And just in case you wanted to be a bit curious about what the study guide looks like, I've created one to, again, study guide, and again, well executed with tables and content based on our resources, and give you some study tips also at the end, which I think is good. So all in all, really, it's a fabulous tool to be studying. If you have some notes from various subjects, you can really go to town with it and do a very, very good job. Obviously, you can ask plenty of questions, but what is really, really important is going to be making sure that that knowledge sticks. That AI obviously will know the stuff, but it's not having the impression that people actually know things, but they actually, that it's going to be sticking to the brain. So hence all the quizzes and all that stuff. And that's important to be going through all these little apps there's little things we've been creating here, like the podcast and the videos and stuff. All of that will be helping out for knowledge to stick. So well done, Adobe. I think it's a quite impressive start. Again, as I mentioned before, it's a beta, therefore it's going to be evolving, and there's obviously, again, I'm going to mention the N word, the notebook LM is still there, but it's been there for quite a large amount of time, therefore they have plenty of time to improve their app. This one is good, it looks good, it does make a very, very good job. So if you are in the Adobe sphere and you're using that stuff, I think it's pretty good. By the way, people need to be using their personal account. The people using it's got to be 18 plus, I believe. So personal account, people will be working by themselves. Students, a uni, maybe people taking in England the likes of A level, something would be very, very useful to them to do that. But they will have to be using a personal account. And if I wanted to create another space, nice and easy, click on Create Student Space. Another feature I forgot to mention, it was nearly the end. I forgot to mention that you can share your space. You can share this with some other people. So if you want to, you've got some mates working on the same stuff. If people have got friends they want to be working with, we always learn better with some mates. I think it's good to bounce off ideas and stuff like that, and to develop critical thinking and stuff, asking questions to each other and motivating each other also sometimes is a good one too. You can share the content of this with friends, with students who are doing the same course as you, as people do. And so you just have to click on the share button, nice and simple, and invite them. And there we go. Copy the link, all done and dusted. They can have access to it and they can work on the same stuff as you do. They can add also probably some documents to it if I wanted to add it, and Bob's your uncle, as you say in English, eh? Excellent. Lovely to speak to you again. Student Spaces, Adobe. Have a quick look if you want to have access to it to have a little play with it, and there will be in the description of the video the link. So do have fun, and if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.